Welcome to VNN's This Month in Oklahoma March edition. I'm VNN's Brittany Harlow, and I should call it This Month in Oklahoma Coronavirus edition because that's what we're going to be talking about today, breaking it down, what has unfolded here in Oklahoma and also globally this past month. The backstory: the Oklahoma State Department of Health says a new virus, COVID-19, commonly referred to as coronavirus, caused an outbreak of respiratory illness first detected in Wuhan City, China in late December of last year. Case numbers continued to build globally in the weeks that followed and started to appear here in the U.S. The Centers for Disease Control rolled out tests to Oklahoma in February, but officials here later confirmed they were faulty. Like others sent all over the country, they contained a flawed component called a reagent required for testing. On March 6th, the state gained the capability to do testing independent of the CDC. It was also the day the first case of coronavirus was confirmed in Tulsa, a man who had recently traveled to Italy. He has since recovered. On March 10th, Tulsa had its second positive case of COVID-19, this time a female in her 20s who had also traveled to Italy. The very next day, the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 a pandemic, saying in part, "We have never before seen a pandemic sparked by a coronavirus. This is the first pandemic caused by a coronavirus, and we have never before seen a pandemic that can be controlled at the same time." Meanwhile, the Oklahoma State Department of Health established a call center to answer COVID-19 related questions. That number is 877-215-8336. And the NBA announced a player on the Utah Jazz tested positive for COVID-19 while in Oklahoma. Altogether, nearly 60 players and staff from both teams were tested with Oklahoma coronavirus tests. Despite a lack of testing capability in the state, one other Jazz player tested positive. The rest were negative. March 13th, President Donald Trump issued a federal emergency declaration on COVID-19. Inmate visitation ceased across Oklahoma State prisons, and a price gouging statute took effect statewide following a week of hand sanitizer and cleaning wipe shortages. A shortage of toilet paper, canned and frozen goods soon followed, not because of actual product shortages like with the sanitizers and the cleaners, but because so many people were buying so much, retailers could not keep them on the shelves. Many stores began limiting items to 1 or 2 per person. Nationwide chains like Walmart went from 24 hours to closing overnight to allow time for their workers to clean and restock. Others, like Reese's, would later designate the first hour they opened to the elderly or those with compromised immune systems. March 14th, Tulsa Mayor G.T. Bynum canceled gatherings of 250 people or more. By then, the number of positive coronavirus tests in Oklahoma residents was up to 7. Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt issued a state of emergency on March 15th. On March 16th, President Donald Trump released guidelines for Oklahoma and the rest of the country, 15 days to slow the spread. In it, he said gatherings of 10 or more people should be avoided. Eating at restaurants and drinking at bars should be avoided, and discretionary travel like shopping trips and social visits should be avoided. The next day, Bynum ordered all bars, spas, and gyms to close, while other businesses like restaurants would only be allowed to provide pickup and delivery. Just 2 days later, the city confirmed the first COVID-19 death in Oklahoma. That number has only continued to grow. At the time of this broadcast, there are currently 565 confirmed positive test results in the state of Oklahoma, including 83 in Tulsa. There have been 23 deaths statewide. Oklahoma Department of Education took a series of steps to protect their students, teachers, and staff this month, ultimately closing all Oklahoma schools for the remainder of the school year. Distance learning will begin April 6th. The state partnered with Diagnostic Labs of Oklahoma on March 20th to expand the state's testing capacity. March 24th, Stitt amended his statewide emergency executive order to include a safer at home order for adults 65 and older and for people with serious underlying medical conditions. The fourth amended order limited gatherings to no more than 10 people, prohibited visits to nursing homes, long-term care facilities and postponed all elective surgeries, minor medical procedures, and non-emergency dental procedures until April 7th. Stitt also ordered takeout and delivery options only, and all non-essential businesses closed in counties of community spread effective midnight, March 26th. He declared that day a statewide day of prayer and called for a night of prayer that night. Stitt also announced that day Oklahoma State University received the reagents to perform 10,000 more COVID tests, in addition to other partnerships with private labs throughout the state and new drive-through satellite sites the Oklahoma Department of Health is working on building. VNN's free plugin app is the only social news media app where you will find nothing but verified information you can trust. Lots of false information floating around on other social media networks, prompting Oklahoma's Attorney General to issue a clarification about law enforcement and the governor's executive order. The order does not impose martial law, but that's not to say these orders should be taken lightly. On March 28th, Tulsa Mayor G.T. Bynum issued his own safer at home order, broadening the shelter-in-place protocols for everyone in his city, not just those over 65 or with compromised immune systems. All public and private events or social gatherings outside of a family or living unit are no longer allowed. Police have already issued at least 2 citations. A VNN poll earlier this week found that 77% of people are now being affected by social distancing and executive orders. No surprise, there was a record number of unemployment applications this month in Oklahoma. The week Stitt declared a statewide emergency, more than 17,000 people applied. That's up from a little over 1,800 the week before. People have also reported problems filing online due to the overload of applicants. That number only expected to rise after Trump expanded his social distancing guidelines to April 30th on Sunday. People have moved to online and digital offerings wherever possible. You can find resources online like the Facebook group Stand Up to COVID-19, support local Tulsa business for a list of businesses and organizations still open, all in one place. Gift cards and ordering online appear to be the most popular way to show your support. Finally, the weather is warming up. The city of Tulsa announced at the end of this month its playground equipment, sports complexes, and even its dog parks would be off limits to people because they no longer can guarantee they are safe from coronavirus. But the state's wildlife department wants Oklahomans to know their outdoor areas remain open for the public. They remind people to stay at least a fishing pole's distance away from each other. I hope we've brought you up to speed with what has happened throughout our state this month. There is a lot more news as well as additional resources in VNN's free plugin app, available for download for free for both Android and iOS, as well as our news feed updated 24/7 online at www.verifiednews.network. Stay safe and well. Till next time, I'm VNN's Brittany Harlow.